Welcome to another Business Spotlight, where we share insights, reflections, and pearls of wisdom from local business owners. My name is Kerry James. I'm a business coach and a facilitator. And on today's Business Spotlight, we have co-founder and CEO of SEO for Hire, Josh Peacock. Good afternoon to you, and great to have you on Business Spotlight, Josh.
Good afternoon to you too, and thank you for having me on.
You're very welcome. So SEO for Hire. There might be a few ways of interpreting that, but if you can give us a bit of an overview, how long have you been in business, please, Josh, and what do you specialize in?
Yeah, so you'd be surprised. There's quite a lot of people that actually don't know what we do. So basically, I've been in business for about 2 years now, and SEO for Hire is a recruitment company that specializes in only SEO. So we're one of the only recruitment companies that just do SEO in the world.
Great, real specialist then. That's great. Okay, and is it okay if I ask you a couple of specific questions about SEO, actually, Josh?
Go for it. I've got a business partner who's the SEO brains. I'm more the recruitment sales, so don't go too hard on me, but go for it.
Okay, well, just one, maybe you won't know the answer, but I was talking to somebody at the Chamber of Commerce the other day, and she's a photographer, and she was explaining how the source and labeling of photographs that are in social media content and websites can actually have quite a big impact on SEO. I don't know whether you've got any thoughts or views on what's happened recently in Google, etc., in relation to that.
Yeah, again, that would be more my business partner side of the story. But yeah, so he owns a content company, so he's all about keywords, all of that content side. One thing in one of the recent events we went to was we found out that YouTube thumbnails is one of the best ways to increase your SEO as well. So yeah, with photos, with everything, things are changing very fast at the minute, but it's definitely something that I think everybody should invest a lot of time into, definitely, to learn.
And if I put something into AI or ChatGPT saying, write me a paragraph which is going to optimize for this keyword, is that the sort of thing that's happening very fast in that world?
It's definitely happening. I can't say that the quality of it is as good as human writers. Again, as I mentioned, my business partner has a whole content company on SEO, so this is changing a lot, but I think it depends how fast ChatGPT is going to change down the line. But right now, I don't think the quality is actually there for the SEO.
Okay, interesting. So clearly we've been in a fairly turbulent 2 or 3 years since you started your business, and maybe your reflections are that it's either a very good or maybe a very bad time to start. I don't know, but with the digital revolution clearly being relevant to your business, home working issues with the labor market, AI, technical advances, etc. How have all of these recent environmental changes impacted on your industry more broadly and in your business in particular, would you say, Josh?
Yeah, so in the industry, things are changing extremely fast, like week to week kind of things. We hosted our first ever event in Manchester on the 1st and 2nd of June there, where we had some of the biggest names in SEO come in. We had head of digital acquisition come in from Miami, and just a lot of smart people in the room. And honestly, Kerry, it was scary. One of our good friends actually did a whole talk on, he has a link building company, and he was using ChatGPT to find out a bit more about what he could do. And basically in ChatGPT now, there's a new thing where it basically prompts itself. So it'll keep on asking itself questions. So you just sit back, and it got to the point what he was showing us that he had to cancel it because he thought it was going to actually start emailing his clients, which is scary stuff. But yeah, no, I think with AI, definitely in SEO, there's so much that's changing at the minute. I think there's always going to be a place for strategy. I think that's where we're seeing most of the industry go to, where a lot of the low-hanging fruits or kind of like junior level, they're going to have to step up their game a lot more and start using AI more as a tool instead of being scared of it. There's a lot of people that first, when ChatGPT came out, that they were trying to work against it. That wasn't smart, so that's kind of been overrun, and there's people taking advantage of it now. So I think that's the biggest change in the SEO industry. It is scary, to be honest. There's a lot happening. But within our business, so we're obviously a recruitment business, a lot of when we started, a lot of roles were fully remote. A lot of people are moving back to in office, which obviously makes it a lot more harder to recruit for. The salaries are going up for more remote roles. So yeah, there's a lot changing at the minute, but I would say they're my main key takeaways.
Would it be fair to say then that the human resourcing of SEO is not moving as fast, or is not as flexible as the technical progress. I'm guessing salaries for SEO experts are going up pretty rapidly. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yeah. So basically what we're finding at the minute is, so if you look at a junior level SEO, they're finding it. In fact, I was chatting to somebody about this yesterday. They're finding it quite hard to, one, get that experience because a lot of people are fully remote now. But secondly, with all this AI stuff that's happening, it's so hard to keep up. Like 5 years ago, you learned SEO and you got mentorship, you learned it that way, and you did courses and stuff like that. Now it's just everything's coming out every few days. It's hard to keep up. So yeah.
Okay, and what about the other potential challenges, would you say, where you're 2 years in? What else would be the main challenges that you've got in your business, would you say?
So in our business, we're lucky that we've kind of got global clients. So we have a lot of, especially US clients that offer higher salaries. So what we're finding is that the SEO talent in the UK is the best talent out there. We've got a candidate base all over the world. And what we find is, so we have an industry-backed vetting process, and we go make sure everybody goes through our vetting process before we put anybody forward. And it's just time and time again, the talent in the UK is like very, very good. But the salaries in the UK just haven't really moved. So like a lot of our UK clients kind of give off to us because we'll have a US client that's offering a 6-figure role for something that could be a 45 sterling role in the UK, and it's just not moving. So without trying to step on anybody's toes, I guess that's what we're kind of having troubles with, is trying to move the SEO salaries in the UK forward and actually maybe not match US salaries because they are a bit crazy, but at least move in a positive way forward.
So you mentioned you work with some bigger companies. What is your kind of ideal client, and what might trigger an organization to realize that they need internal SEO resourcing?
So time and time again, I'll jump on a call and they'll take me through what they're currently doing at the minute. And let's just say there's a lot of cowboy agencies out there, especially in the SEO space. I'm sure there's in a lot of spaces, but there's a lot of calls that will go on and we'll find out what they're actually doing, and they'll be charging an extortionate price for what it is. And like not so long ago, we had a supplement company that reached out to us. We went through what their SEO agency was doing for them, and they completely missed backlinks, which is like a third of a component to SEO. So there's a lot of people out there that are basically taking advantage of the fact that they might not know what SEO is, so they're selling them on something. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do, is we try to go in, and a lot of the times we'll actually chat to a client, find out what their needs and wants are, and they might be better suited to an agency. They might not be at the stage to build an internal team, because an internal team takes a lot of, like, you have to have the foundation set up before you actually do that. But yeah, so that's kind of what we'd go in and look for first.
And does it tend to be more private sector or specific to certain industry types?
So I'd say about 75% of our clients are SEO agencies, so limited companies.
Okay.
And we do have quite a few clients out there that they're either e-com businesses, they're online businesses, and they've been outsourcing their SEO to an agency for the last 12 months, and they want to start building it in-house. So it really just depends. But yeah, I'd say most of our clients are actually SEO agencies.
Got you. Okay, makes sense. So you say you've been going for 2 years. How would you describe your aspirations for the business, Josh, over maybe a kind of 3 to 5 year future?
Yeah. So one thing that I've learned recently is that your team has to be as strong as possible. So we've invested a lot into our team. We're a small team of 5 of us. And back basically in December time, I was doing everything by myself. I was doing 16-hour days. I read the E-Myth by Michael Gerber and realized, don't have a business right now. I just have a decent paying job. So we invested a lot into the team. And basically, yeah, sorry, what was the question again there, Karen?
The question was your aspirations for the business.
Yeah, so basically what I want to do is I want to work smarter and not harder. I don't want to bring in a massive team and just once we hit work capacity, hire more and bring it that way. So what we're trying to do at the minute is we're building a SaaS tool that I think could bring the capacity of the team down a lot so we can actually do a lot more across the board. But I think it's going to open us up to a lot of different markets as well. And not just, as I mentioned, most of our clients are SEO agencies. It's going to be more of a need for anybody that's even hiring SEO, whether that be freelance, vetting an agency, or anything along the lines of that. So we're building that at the minute, which I think could be a big game changer for us.
You said, sorry, you said you bring in a software as a service to, is that what you said, Josh? Just tell
Yeah.
us a little bit more about that then. How does that fit in?
Yeah, so I won't lie, Gary, I don't really want to put this too much on the podcast because we're just on a brief at the minute.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Well, yes, I've got, funny enough, I've got about 6 or 7 copies of Michael Herber's book on my shelves that you talk about.
It's a great book.
Yes, as applicable to SEO as it is to a bakery, I'm sure. Okay, so what sort of size and shape do you think you might be in 5 years, and whether that's revenue or team numbers? Have you got that kind of plan in mind?
Yeah, so we joined a mentorship program that's for recruitment agencies back in December time. And basically, the guy that runs this mentorship program, he's tried and tested out recruitment agencies where he's brought them up to like 40 plus people. And what he found was that the sweet spot is around 12 people, keeping your agency lean, agile, and basically automating a lot of systems. So again, that was back in December. We've done that. And yeah, I think right now we've got a team of 5. I'd like a team of 10 to 12 within the next year. I think what we're going to really try to do is, as I mentioned, a lot of our clients are US based. So I'm going to go over to Austin, Texas in September and October. And the plan is just to have meetings all during the week, meet up with as many SEO agencies as we can. So I'd like to grow a lot more inside the US market.
Got you. Very good. So you mentioned 1 or 2 lessons. You're clearly keen on your reading, and you mentioned mentorship, etc. there. So you're clearly investing in your own learning, etc. What would you say in relation to the top 2 or 3 things that you've learned as a business owner? If you were going to start on day 1 now, Josh, what advice would you give yourself?
I think the biggest thing I learned recently was delegating tasks. I was that guy that was trying to do everything by myself. And I mentioned I was doing massive days back in December time, which wasn't that long ago. And as I mentioned, I read Michael Gerber, the E-Myth. I started putting systems in place and processes in place, which was, again, we use ClickUp as a project management tool. I thought I had all my systems and stuff in place. And then once we started growing the team, I was like, right, this only makes sense to me. This doesn't make sense to the team. So putting systems in place was a big one for me. Building a team so basically one of the first hires I made, Kerry, not to speak bad about them, but let's just say they didn't fit what the company was doing. They were from the public sector. They had everything on their CV. They were 14 years public sector HR recruitment, but we're obviously a startup, we're very fast paced, and it just didn't work out. So I didn't realize how much of my time was going into trying to like onboard them properly and all of that. So now we've got a team of 5, and honestly, I couldn't be more happier than them. They're absolute A players, every one of them. I seen a great video from Stephen Bartlett the other day about, especially when you've got a small startup team, that you have to think about company culture. And it actually talked about, if you've got 5 people, which we do, each one of them is 20% of our culture. So you're only as strong as your weakest link. So investing a lot of time into your team, I think, is the most important thing. So we have one of our marketing girls, she's from Cape Town. So we actually flew her over for our event there in Manchester. She's never been outside of South Africa. So it was lovely getting to meet her face to face first. And basically, obviously, a lot of recruitment, what we do is online and LinkedIn. So it's great, everybody getting to meet everybody face to face. And yeah, so I think investing in the team has been an absolute massive one. Another thing I think is really, really important is, I think actually challenging your team as well. So like we talk about this all the time when we're trying to hire somebody for, let's say, a 6-figure role for an SEO the director, someone at the top of their level. They don't like being micromanaged. They don't like being put away in a pigeonhole. They like being challenged all the time. So one thing that we did with our team is like anything that they think is challenging, like I try to put them there, not force them, obviously, but like for instance, we just hired one of our guys, Jay, who was a top seller for BT in Ireland, and he joined us. And one of his biggest fears was public speaking. So I said, after a week of him joining, I was like, how about at our event, when I do my talk, do you want to come on and do 5 minutes on like the onboarding process and what you've learned? And he was like, give me a few days to get back to you. But like, he's absolutely loved it. So I think challenging your team is a big one as well.
Absolutely, that's great. Yeah, outside your comfort zone is where the growth zone is, right?
100%.
And
Yeah.
we certainly spend a lot of time working with our clients on identifying their core values and using that as part of their recruitment process, and using behavioral profiling, etc. So yeah, a lot of that thing really rings true. Very good. Well, it's been great to hear your story, Josh. And so thanks for your time and input. One last question, if I may. If we've got maybe an SEO agency or somebody who's interested in moving on within SEO, what might be anything you'd like to offer, or a sensible next step?
Yeah, of course. So if you're trying to hire an SEO or you want any advice to build an expert SEO team, you can just get in touch with me. But we're happy to offer 20% off the placement fee through the Business Spotlight.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much again, Josh. We'll put the links to your website together with these videos. Thanks again for your time and your input, and all the very best with SEO for Hire.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me on, Gary.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.